Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic day from wherever you are around the world. And welcome to another LFC Transfer News Show for you guys tonight. Of course, as you can see by the thumbnail and the title, we are going to be talking about Mr. Renato Sanches. Of course, he is in the news at the moment, or pretty much on Twitter. If anyone else is looking on there, of course, we have new news about Saul as well, or Saul from Atletico Madrid. Some interesting news there, but we'll take a little bit of a look there. And of course, Grabara leaving Liverpool to join FC Copenhagen as well. But of course, as you can see, I am joined by a very special guest, Mr. Jack Mack, LFC. Jack, how you doing, mate?
Cheers, I'm your mate. Yeah, interesting. Be interesting to get everyone's thoughts on the players in which we'll discuss tonight, mate. But yeah, thank you very much for letting me come on, mate. And hopefully everyone at home is having a lovely night anyway.
Absolute pleasure, man. And of course, guys, if you could, please feel free to leave a like. Please hit that subscribe button. 1892 Red Podcast says 7 away from 500 subs. We are 7 away from 500 subs. If you could, please hit that subscribe button. It'd be very much appreciated, as always. But we did want to mention one thing before we did talk about any news, of course, and that is the government have said that full capacity stadiums can happen from July 17th, which, Jack, it's going to be electric, isn't it, to have a fully packed Anfield as soon as we can?
Yeah, 12th man, mate. There's no other club around Europe that has missed the fans, and it's had obviously pandemic in which we've had, but the football and the energy in which gets created around Anfield on a match day and before the game, after the game as well. I think it'll very much spearhead us going into next season. Hopefully everyone's keeping safe and well with the vaccine rollout and everything. But I think once we get a full capacity, I think you'll see a massively improved Liverpool on the pitch as well. The lads have done us proud. I know they struggled last season, but I think a lot of teams did, not just Liverpool, in terms of obviously City just more or less running away with it, like we done the season prior anyway, mate. But yeah, it's great. I can't wait. I can't wait for it, mate. And and obviously it was disappointing, like the generation of obviously crowd noise and everyone at home. It's not football. And I think when the heartbeat of football comes back into the stadiums, because the heartbeat of football, yes, the players and the football clubs, but the fans are the most important aspect of the beautiful game anyway. So the quicker we get our 12 man back into the stadium, that'll be fantastic, mate.
Yeah, no, it will be. And look, I can't wait. I fully can't wait to go and watch the Reds, because it's been so long since we've been able to even be near Anfield. I think, look, I know that, of course, last game of the season and this, that, and the other, but look, it's not the same without, like Jack said, the 12th man. And look, it's going to be absolutely fantastic when we can. Of course, we don't play at home for the first game of the season, but we will be at Carrow Road anyway, trying to cheer the lads on anyway for the first game of the season against Norwich, of course. Anyway, but let's say hi to a few of you guys anyway. Helen says, I'm here, woohoo, all these streams, my goodness, like riding through the
Get in, Helen.
Thank you, Helen. 89 Red Podcast says, how are we doing, lads? We're doing very very good, thank you. Jade says, hi, Connor and Jack. Chris is in saying, evening, lads, or evening, Reds. Connor, if you want to join myself and Jack tonight, when you finish, feel free, mate. Send the link over and I'll happily join when we are free. Of course, Jack is here for the first part of the stream, and then he will be heading over, and then I'll be heading over.
I'm everywhere tonight.
we got to get the bookings in really, really quick.
It's not the only night that happens.
We just have to live with COVID now, as much as people can bark at the moon all they want to. Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing, isn't it? Shay is in as well, saying evening all. Stephen Owens is in saying I up Reds, day 6 in bed, cheer me up, guys.
For your right, stay.
Yeah, please let us know.
Obviously, our DMs are open, matey. Anyway, hopefully, whatever's going on, anyway, you're keeping safe and well, fella. But as I said, not just me and Connor, but all the Reds Liverpool family on YouTube. But always reach out, not just stay. Every single one is. I know this last year has been very difficult for everyone involved, but fingers crossed the Reds get back to winning ways, mate, and got that to focus on.
Please either DM myself or Jack, or if anyone ever needs to chat, then please feel free to do so. Nothing like a full house at Anfield. Can't wait. What else we buy? 18 euro podcast. I'll change my time to 9 p.m. lads, if you're good with that. Totally up to you. I don't mind.
No, that's all right, boys. Up to you, Con. Because I was only for like half an hour.
I'll only be half an hour tonight. We'll only be half an hour anyway. But Anthony's in saying it's coming home. It's not, for God's sake. But yeah, getting straight into the news then. Of course, you guys all know and probably are all year for the Renato Sanches news, of course. As you can see there, Liverpool very interested in Renato Sanches and Lille ready to sell, claim French paper. Of course, this is Anfield. It practically goes on about Liverpool being very keen on the Portuguese international, as you can see. But there, goals, Neil Jones, naming him, Neuhaus, John McGinn, Basuma, and Ryan Gravenberch. Of course, we spoke about Ryan Gravenberch yesterday, and doing that. And as you can see there, the French newspaper L'Equipe or Le Coupe,
love the accent there,
as claimed by describing Liverpool and Arsenal as very interested in the Portuguese international. Now, throughout today, there's been reports coming out of Portugal with corroborating the same story, saying that Liverpool and Arsenal look to be the only Premier League sides that are interested at the moment for Renato Sanches, and there's two other unnamed clubs as well that are interested in his services as well. And if you go on to read more about that article as well, it does express that Lille need the money because they are a bit lacking due to the pandemic, like everyone is realistically, but Lille especially, they've already offloaded a couple of their players. I know what midfielder from theirs has gone to Leicester recently, and they are looking to sell more assets throughout the summer window anyway. But Jack, we also look at, Gini Wijnaldum replacement, and we're all excited about all the midfielders that we are getting linked to, and this and that. But what's your thoughts on Renato Sanches? Because the price tag's being rumored around 35 million euros, which would be around 32 million pounds. Could you see it happening, Renato Sanches to Liverpool?
Yeah, very much so, mate. It'd be interesting to see if Klopp and Michael Edwards and the technical staff will analyse Renato. I think he has the same agent, if I'm right. I'd be wrong here, but I think he's got the same agent as Jota and Fabinho, if that is the case. So you never know. I think Jota, if Jürgen is intrigued with Sanches, I think he very much would have done what Bobby Firmino done, getting Ali and Fabinho into the club. Had a little cheeky word behind closed doors on the international stage and said, would you like to come to Liverpool? Jürgen's expressed an interest, and I think he'll be a phenomenal player. I think he moved a bit too early in his career. I think he should have really developed his game a bit more in the younger years, but it's difficult when you get big moves to Bayern Munich and obviously the other teams in which he's been at. Swansea, you analyse his moves there. It was a loan. He was still very young, and I think you learn so much, whether that's a space of a year or 2 or 3. And I think this tournament for Portugal, he was very much one of their standout players in terms of, he didn't play the best Portugal. I think everyone expected them to win the tournament, but in terms of his solely performance, he stood out. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes had a very disappointing campaign. I know he was on the bench for the majority of those games, but if you're looking at their midfield, Portugal, he's very much one of the stars for the future. I think he's 24, 25 years old, or he's a bit younger than that, Con, is he?
A bit younger. I think he's 22 at the moment.
Yeah,
No, 23. He's 23.
23. Yeah, so still got a vast time on his hands, really, in terms of developing his game. If we did bring him in, that wouldn't necessarily mean that we're stumping the progress of Curtis Jones. Because I tell you, in the future, if Liverpool did have Thiago, 30-odd years old, Fabinho, 20, he's coming into his late 20s anyway. And if Liverpool in the future did have a Renato Sanches and a Curtis Jones, still two very good young players, very technical players. I think what I loved about Sanchez's game, especially in the Euros, is a way of moving around the pitch. And let us know, everyone, what your thoughts on his performance. What I seen, he was surrounded by a couple of players in a couple of those games, and he just shook them off like they were nothing and really manoeuvred. So that's what you need in a Jurgen Klopp player, especially in that midfield. Something that Gini Wijnaldum was more or less made his hallmark, really. It's a very technical player that can manoeuvre in and around plays, but he's very good on the ball. Sanchez, but we need to, Connor. I'm not going to sit here. I know all the journalists around the world will probably go, "Oh, Liverpool aren't looking," and I think that's a good way and momentum, because I'd rather Liverpool. Yes, it's all right for all of us to discuss and all the chat and everyone on social media. We dream of these signings, but I'd much rather transfers like Jota, Fabinho, rather get done behind closed doors. And whether it's a bit of brinkmanship from Liverpool in terms of just slightly linking a link out to the press and possibly trying to get some money, knock the price down and all that. But yeah, he's a phenomenal player, mate, and he's got a bright future.
No, he does. And look, in the Euros, that's the problem, I think, at the moment. I think we all look at the Euros and go, "Oh, he looks to be a superstar," in that sense. Like you said, he was shipped out quite early. Obviously had a fantastic Euros the last time 5 years ago. Left Benfica, joined a Bayern Munich side that was in transition, and they didn't know really what to do with him. Shipped out to Swansea and they were a sinking ship at that time. And look, he paid the worst for it, because Renato Sanches, this golden boy that looks to be phenomenal, can't even make a simple 2-yard pass for Swansea, and then went to Lille, of course, and kind of rejuvenated his career in some sense. And it is the sense now where apparently Jurgen's been interested in Renato Sanches for the last 2 years. So don't know whether or not if he's maintained interest and kept like a close eye on it. Of course, probably, because Jurgen, and like Jack said, it's good that the fact that there's no names being strongly linked. Whenever you listen to Fabrizio Romano, Fabrizio's always saying, Liverpool, they're trying to extend the contract of, Mo Salah, Virgil, Fabinho, and that. There's no concrete evidence to suggest that Liverpool are definitely going after this player, unlike previous years where it was coming out that we were interested in Thiago, and Jota come out of nowhere, and Fabinho come out of nowhere. It's good news that Liverpool aren't like someone going that, "Oh yeah, we're going for plan A instead of plan B, C, and D working."
Yeah, that signals to me, Connor, and everyone at home, that Jurgen, he's never been one, and Edwards to, yes, they probably look at, as Connor said there, top 5, and Liverpool probably in the past probably went with option 3, 4, and 5 if needs be, because we're a club that don't get bullied. If we want a player, we'll go and say interest. If player is first thoughts are wages, then he'll very much, Jurgen and technical staff will be like, "No, we're not really too asked. We'd rather want players that want to come to the football club that have the right attitude," like Jordan Henderson, who's fought his whole career to get where he is. And James Milner, players that actually want to work. And you see in and around the Premier League, Connor, and you look at Man United, yes, they're signing all these players and players that come to Manchester City as well, and Chelsea, that you don't really buy into the ethos of the football club. They're coming for big wages, and I mean massive wages. Don't get me wrong, very, very world-class, potentially in the next couple of years, world-class players, but I'd much rather players that put a shift on the pitch, but by no means you're not missing out on quality. You're just shopping a bit lower in the bracket, and it doesn't mean Liverpool are settling for more lesser players. It means the players are more bought into the idea of playing under Klopp, buying into the football club and ethos. So
Yeah, no, and it is that, isn't it? We've never gone for the superstar. Then I think we could say we've always looked at someone that we
Apart
could.
from obviously Van Dijk and Alisson, they
Yeah,
were the only two transfers that.
I don't even think so with them. I think
Would Alisson be classed as like? I don't think
I
he
don't
was
think
possibly
so.
top 5 in Europe. Yeah, he wasn't
Yeah,
like in the bracket of like De Stegen or
I
Oblaks
think
at that time.
I think to be fair, only maybe Thiago. I can only put to mind. If we're thinking about world class, at that particular time, of course, they've become world class now. But yeah, I fully get what you mean. But guys, let us know your thoughts on Renato Sanches anyway. Do you think he's a good fit for Liverpool anyway? Of course, Anne saying, I up Jack Connor. Hope you're both well. We're very good. Thank you, mate. Gary says Liverpool must sign a player or players. Kara says evening all. Lil on skint. That's how we got Soma for 15 mil. Mate, trust by looking at
French football is crippled with death.
Yeah,
like due to
only
transfer.
PSG, only PSG, and not skint out of the pandemic.
And possibly Monaco, even obviously because they don't pay tax duty in and around Monaco. So it's the collapse of the TV deal. Everyone, if you have a look, I think it was a couple of months ago, they missed out on a massive secure in terms of, I don't know who it was a certain sports dealership anyway, but they lost out on millions of. But you will be seeing a lot of big transfers. Obviously, out of France, it'd be interesting to see if Leon possibly could keep hold of him, but I don't think he will, because he's one of their big assets.
Well, Mbappe #2022. Just saying. I'm divided on Renato Sanches.
At 60 when he moves, mate.
I'm divided on Renato Sanches. He's a good player. I'm just still not convinced by him. And says, how TF are Leicester meant to play Man City and Liverpool with 44 hours? That seems fun. I think that's around Christmas time, isn't it? That should be fun. I'm not going to lie.
It's just typical scheduling, Sky, mate. Money talks, isn't it?
Was it 1 year that we played Sunderland and then we played Southampton? Like the next, and like just the distance on it was ridiculous.
It's because you got the Euros and then you're straight into a Premier League campaign with Champions League and all the other competitions, and then you've got the World Cup sandwiched straight after it as well. So it's going to be mad. It's going to be chock-a-block. But footballers do get paid a lot of money, but at the end of the day, they're still athletes and they will be getting tired.
Yeah. Chris says, I'm not convinced by Sanchez. I don't see the foundations of him being people that were jumping on his bounty castle because he's had a long range strike and he's had no offense. That's what you do as a footballer. Anthony says, I'm good just editing. Sanchez, Ultrasin saying Sanchez is like a cater but actually plays.
Spot on, Ultra. You've hit the nail on the head.
To be fair, I'll take that. Can be my new Naby replacement. Thiago played at Bayern, which Sanchez, Renato. Yeah, they both played at Bayern. I would stay away from Sanchez personally, but if he joins, I will still support him as I do with any player, says Chris. It is that though, isn't it, Jackie? A lot of people are 50-50 about him because I think out of all of the people that has been rumoured and linked for, like Neil Jones said, with the 5 that he did name, Renato Sanches, he does split opinion, doesn't he? Just looking by the chat. Yeah,
it's the thing, as you mentioned, Jurgen develops players. What I'd be most intrigued with this transfer is what Jurgen would do with him. We just spoke about how he's helped Alisson, helped Van Dijk, propelled Trent to being the best right back in world football. Don't get me wrong, he's not on the level of Luka Modric or Luke De Jong at Barca anyway, and all that. But I think it's the fascination of what Jurgen Klopp would build him into in the next. Give him 2 years under Klopp. What type of midfielder could you possibly be looking at? And if he's got a bit more license to go forward, when he's got Fabinho or a Thiago, he'll learn off Thiago and become a better player. So Liverpool do need bodies in midfield, and it's important that we don't be left in a situation like we were last season when our defence was absolutely crippled. And then you're looking at our midfield now where Naby more or less spends more time in the hospital. Ox, if he gets injured again, those two have got massive question marks over their fitness levels. And if you take away them, then you're looking at Curtis Jones, Fabinho, Henderson, dodgy knees. You don't know how well he will keep up next season. Milner, he's into his 30s. Yes, he's built like Hercules with his fitness, but he will not be able to play so many games in a matter of months anyway. So you haven't got a lot of names there to really pick from like starters. Obviously, Thiago, Curtis, but we need at least one or possibly another player that freshens that midfield. Because what we want to do is, Connor and everyone at home, is be able to compete on all fronts. And you look at the other teams round us, yes, we've got to focus on ourselves. We've got the best 1 to 11 in the league. We just haven't got the best squad in the Prem. And that's where Liverpool need to bridge the gap, plugging it with quality. Not necessarily the world's top bracket, as we mentioned. Just get that bracket below that we can develop in Jürgen, because it's bringing that right player in that is accepting of the fact that I'm not going to be guaranteed 40 odd games in the Premier League and FA Cup season, but coming in that is that ability to learn off Thiago, whether that we bring in a Saul that we'll mention in a minute, but we need quality in midfield in all areas, mate.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think with that as well, looking at Renato Sanches, for Portugal, played in a 2, in a pivot, both in a 6, looking at his stats for Lille, he can play right mid. I think that's also a very interesting fact. I think, if we've seen, maybe not last season, but the season before, the likes of Jordan Henderson, playing that like weird right-hand sided, right midfield type position. And of course, when he is in midfield, in a 2, it does look like to be on that left-hand side, which in my opinion, I think Liverpool do need more of a left-sided person on the midfield 3, because I think the more attacking side next season, for me anyway, is going to be Thiago, Trent and Mo Salah. Do you think that's the same as well?
Yeah, we need to get the right balance down the left as well. And I think Naby was that left-handed sided midfielder, because obviously Naby more or less played left wing a couple of times in the early stages of Liverpool career before he got put into hospital. In terms of that, I think it's getting the right balance. Like obviously you got Fabinho in that holding role, and then whether you play a 2 in midfield or 3, whatever your world your oyster, really having these loads of options. But obviously you could possibly look at Henderson or put Thiago on the left, but it's the beauty of having more options, which we need.
Yeah, no, it is, absolutely. Let's read a few of your comments before we do move on to the next story. Ultra says, to be fair, Xhaka looked class at the Euros, but Sanchez played against Kante, Pogba, Kevin De Bruyne, Cruz, and didn't look out of place. Yeah, that is a fair point. Let me scroll back up. Anthony says Leicester's been linked to so many players from the French league for that exact same reason. Don't say Sanchez is like Keita. We get enough hospital residents, for God's sake, Chris. Good evening all. Hello, Doug. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. Mate, Jay says hi to Doug, and everyone's saying hi to Doug as well. But right, let's get moving on then to the next story. Of course, Jack did mention him. Saul from Atletico Madrid. I do very much apologize for quoting the echo here, but to be fair, when I tried to have a look at the report that was on, it was all Spanish and I couldn't translate it for some reason. So we move. But as you can see there, according to Anfield Central, and then of course they're quoting La Razón, if you want to, if that's how it's pronounced. Anyway, saying Liverpool are in an agreement with Atletico Madrid to sign Saul, according to a report. And then despite this, the Spanish outlet adds Liverpool need to offer slightly more than the fee that Atletico Madrid finally pays for Rodrigo de Paul. Saul could land at Anfield this summer. Now, Jack, I know that Fabrizio Romano did say that, it is between Bayern Munich and one other club as well for his service. Could you see him at Liverpool? For me, it's a no. I don't think we'd go for another, top 20s style, midfielder, even though, he looks to be, quality, can, produce some very good moments in very huge games. We should know that, he did it against us in the Champions League, for Christ's sake. But, what's your thoughts on the situation? Because I don't think Liverpool are going to go in for him this summer.
For me, it intrigues me. I know we've just been discussing Sanchez, but this lad's it takes a lot when you're playing the Diego Simeone system. He's very versatile, so when we've watched him, when we've played against him anyway, he would not look out of place. He's a very good player. You don't get into the Spanish national side if you're not any good at footy anyway. So for me, it intrigues me. If this transfer does come to fruition, really, in terms of any truth about it, 50, 60 million. I know it sounds a lot, but in today's climate and market, I think that is a fantastic deal. I think he's about 25, 26 years old. He's got vast experience in the Champions League, and he's won 2 La Liga titles as well. Might be wrong there, but with under Diego Simeone in that period at Atleti. So it's an intriguing one, but I'd love it if it actually come through, because we've just been discussing we need quality in all areas, and if you've got Saul coming in, he very much complements that. And and I think one thing as well, he's always fit in terms of for Atletico Madrid. I mean, he's played so many minutes over his career anyway, but I don't think he might have had the odd injury there, but I can't really remember him having a large period out missing.
Yeah, no, and to be fair, I'm looking at his injury stats now, and to be fair, he doesn't get injured. It's like you said,
until we sign him, we won't.
Don't curse it now, for God's sake. I'm bad enough getting claimed for that. Anyway, but yeah, looking at it, he had one injury this season, muscular injury, just out for 5 games. Apart from that, the last time he was, he missed 5 games back in 14-15, which, Liverpool need someone like that. And to be fair, looking at him, 26 years of age, I could fully get why Liverpool would go for him. But for me personally, I would just think that, like Renato Sanches, Neuhaus, or, someone like that, I think that is a person that Liverpool are more likely to go after than him. But it is a good look anyway that Liverpool are going for top tier midfielders, because I think
it'd be a step in a different direction. We discussed at the top of the show, didn't we? Liverpool went for a Thiago ready-made. I think Saul would come into ready-made, everyone. I think he's got the experience. He'd come in very much demand at least a first team spot. Ryan Gravenberch, Sanchez, a bit more younger. Well, no, Gravenberch is a lot more younger, but it's less of a project if you've got them compared to Saul, if you get me. So I think if you come in, it very much got straight into that, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Guys, let me know your thoughts, and let us know your thoughts anyway in the comment section down below. Doug says, hi, Jack, Churchill Mac. Gareth says, Nagels won't lose his soul at Liverpool, for God's sake, Gareth. Seen that clip, Doug? It's so funny. Yeah, if you guys haven't checked that out, please.
Oh yeah,
I
do love me Caramax.
Ultra says, if we did sign Saul, does that mean Hendo loses his starting place? Not for me.
No.
And Hendo's number 1 on the team sheet when fit, in my opinion. Anyway, maybe Fabinho might be the only other guy for that. Saul is quality, but I think we already got player like him in Thiago. Connor likes to jink Joe Gomez. Nibbler, thank you, Doug. Thank you for reminding me about that. Ultra says, let's be honest, let's dream about Barella. I know Jack likes Barella very, very much.
I love him.
Well, I don't think Barella's going to be leaving Inter Milan this summer, unfortunately. But, moving on then to the final story of the video, of course, and that is concerning Kamel Kabara. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. I probably haven't. As you can see, but Liverpool did officially announce a couple of days ago that Kabara has completed a permanent transfer to FC Copenhagen. Everyone at LFC wishes Kamel all the best for his future. Now, Neil Jones did go a little bit more into this, saying that it is a £3 million move, which, to be fair, for market value, is 1.5 million. So, Liverpool and Michael Edwards done another genius work with it, and also there's a 20% sell-on clause as well for Liverpool, for any future sales as well. But Jack, we were speaking the other night, wasn't we, on Doug's channel about sell. I think we had Grabara to be sold.
I think Edwards watched our video then.
Soon
after we sold him. But yeah, we've seen with the likes of Peter Galacki, everyone, if you're not aware, like, he used to be on the ranks of Liverpool. He didn't play a lot. I don't think he played any first team games, possibly one in a 3-season friendly or something. But it is interesting that Liverpool allowed their goalkeepers to go and express their career. It's very difficult when you've got a player of that ability in terms of Alisson Becker. But I think comments a couple of months ago didn't quite help Grabara, more or less class himself as the best goalkeeper at the club. So that's a lot. There's being confident, then there's being confidence, if you get me.
Yeah.
I think Jürgen's like, nah, I'm not having that. But,
And look, at the end of the day, for him to turn around and say he's better than Alisson Becker, a guy that has won the first ever like goalkeeper award, UEFA's awards, won the Champions League, won the Premier League, blah blah blah.
I think a couple of smarties.
Yeah, for him to go, I'm better than him, is like, no, Terrell, thank you very much. Like Doug has said here, don't let the door hit you on the way out, Kamel. If you make fun of Alisson, you deserve to get punted. Anyway, Ultra says, I was shocked by this. I thought he'd break through to the first team squad eventually. As Doug said there, and says, but as well. But yeah, I think the general consensus of it is, I think £3 million Liverpool and Michael Edwards again has done absolutely fantastic on that price. Anyway, but guys, thank you very much for tuning in for tonight's show. Of course, if you guys are watching on repeat, then please feel free to let us know your thoughts on all the stories that we have brought for you tonight as well. Let me know about Renato Sanches, let me know about Saul, and of course Grabara as well. Anyway, please head over to the 1892 Reds podcast. You will see myself and Jack very, very soon over there. And guys, please stay safe. Of course, we do sadly live in COVID times. Stay safe, please stay well, and we will see you all in the next video. Ta-ra, Reds.